Hello, everybody. Um, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Brat Cooper. And Brat Cooper, she's a, let's just say a special individual. And, she fell off. You know, what happened to her? I don't know. You know, like, the only time you get to really hear about Brat Cooper nowadays is when somebody makes a video like this and so happens to be talking about her, you know? And she's a Gen Z, but I don't know if that's exactly true, but if that is the case, well, that is something to think about, you know? You have people that are of my generation, I'm Generation Z, by the way, that are, like, saying all this stuff, you know, going all crazy. And there was nothing, like, when she, I guess, left the Daily Wire company, she, kind of changed or whatever at some point or something, and it didn't instantly translate to, you know, her going on her own, you know, and for whatever reason, it made her fall off really, really, really hard. You know, don't get me wrong, she's probably, you know, uploading stuff to YouTube or whatever, but it's like, I don't think she's going to be nearly as relevant as she was a couple of years back, you know? Like, she's very, how should I say, of 2022, you know? But don't get me wrong, she could be a good person behind the scenes, you know? She could be an actual good person. But, like, if you look at the stuff that she presents herself as, she just seems like one of those people who are very politically active, you know? Like, she's just like a Gen Z version, if you will. Let's just assume she is Generation Z. This woman, if you will, is very much that generation's version of what the Daily Wire guys was. And obviously the most famous one would be Ben Shapiro, because, well, he's Ben Shapiro. And they look very, very similar from each other, physically, anyway. But metaphorically, I don't know about that one. But they do have similar, like, things. Not the same, but similar, you know? And, I don't know, maybe, Brat Cooper is really just Ben Shapiro, but he transitioned or something, you know? Oh, he transitioned as a woman. And he wants to, hide it, you know? And everything else is just, him pretending to be a man or something. You know, I don't know. I don't know. It gets confusing. And I think I made a video on this before, but I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, this Brat Cooper lady, I do get kind of suspicious of her beliefs, because a lot of them that I remember, anyway, yeah, they had some good videos, some good hits, but a lot of them was just like, own the left, own what they're doing. Oh yeah, let's make this about politics, okay? Like, if you ask me, I'm not saying that she isn't allowed to talk politics, but what I am saying is that it's like, if you are still doing this, if you are still watching this, if you are watching this video, Brat Cooper, which I really doubt, but you never know, I would say to you, lay off the politics. It makes you very, how should I say, like, you could go from very relevant to aging like milk. And in politics, once you become what happened to her girl, you're instantly irrelevant no matter who you are, you know? And, well, irrelevant for the time being, at least for now. So unless, she comes back into mainstream popularity, and I do mean mainstream popularity, there's no absolute return. There's not going to be oh, she's returned, she's back in her YouTubing prime, you know? Like, you're not going to get that back. You can only be in your 20s for so long, you know? Like, it's a 10-year hop. Like, you're only going to be there temporarily. Like, it's not permanent. Eventually, you get into your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s if you live far enough to see it. You know? Or 90s or 100s or 110s. Again, if you live far enough to see it, and so on and so forth. If you live, again, far enough beyond to do that. And, yeah. This lady, she's just like, I think she has a husband, I'm not sure. I guess congratulations to her because she got it like a while ago. And that Sneeko guy, he got like really upset or whatever about that for a while. He was like, oh, I'm gonna marry her or whatever. And then, she got married to somebody else. At least that's what I'm told. I'm not sure if she's actually married or if that's just what she says to, say, hey, knock off my pussy. Now, excuse me for my poor choice of words, but that's just how I talk in my dialect. And if you don't use a particular poor choice of words, you will be kicked out. You will get kicked out. You will be looked at as the inferior one. That kind of attitude. Now, that's not always the case, but depending on the individual, that can be. So, that's another one. But anyway, enough about me at the moment. This lady, she really has this, just like this really stuff with politics or whatever. The only thing I can really say that she hasn't, like, that wasn't really political was her fishing with Matt Walsh, That kind of thing. Or at least, was it Matt Walsh? I don't know. Matt Walsh, he's weird. He's a bit generic, but that's just because, that's who he is. It's just the way he acts. It's not like he's, doing this intentionally. Most likely he's not. He's just Matt Walsh. He's not a villain. He's not a bad guy. He's just kind of a strange dude who believes in alien conspiracy theories. I don't know. But, what is a man? He says, what is a woman? But I'm like, what is a man? You're a man, aren't you? So what are you? What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you, Matt Walsh? And then there's Michael Knowles. A lot of people named Michael. And then there was what? That one bald guy I don't remember the name of. Then there was Peterson, I think his name was. I'm not sure. And then there was Josh, maybe? I don't know. His name is Drake, Josh and Drake. Drake and Josh. Something, I don't know. I'm losing my mind every fucking day. I'm losing my mind. And I take medication for that stuff. And I still lose my mind. I still think, maybe, just maybe, if the Jews control the world, then who controls the Jews? I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, Brat Cooper, this female, this woman of the weaker sex, as they tend to say, the XX chromosome, this Gen Z woman. Now, maybe you could justify her age or her sex or her race, I guess. But can you justify the fact that she fell off? That she went on a brick wall? Maybe, who knows, maybe she could come back, but she's got to definitely not just work for it, but earn her way back. Because if she doesn't earn her way back, it ain't gonna get to her, okay? It ain't gonna come to you. I know, crazy world. You have to actually do something, not just nothing, in order for you to get back into your popularity, Brat Cooper. But, I don't know. Again, she's probably not going to see this video. I really doubt it. I mean, she's, like, attractive and all in the, physical and, I guess, mental or metaphorical sense. But it's like, that's up to you to decide. Me, I would say so. But you, that's a different story, okay? Does Brat Cooper consider herself good looking? I don't know. I doubt that. She probably wears makeup. Okay? She probably wears fucking makeup. So it's not the end of the world. Alright? But I'm not gonna try to hate on women for wearing makeup. It's just, you're a little... What's the word? You're a little... I can't think of it at the moment. You are a little negative towards yourself, I guess you could say. Embarrassed. That's the word I was looking for. Embarrassed by yourself. That you look a certain way. If you ask me, if you want the standard, if you don't want men to only look at you as sex bots, if you don't want women who look at you as money pockets, one of the biggest things you can do is one, just figure things out. Two, don't try to get exploited, and, bad things can happen, but also good things can happen. And three, and this is specifically towards the women, please, you don't need the makeup, bro, because unless you're acting or you're doing something that actually requires you to wear makeup, just wearing makeup for no reason doesn't make any sense. To just wear makeup just to be like, oh yeah, this is what I should look like. You don't need to look like Miranda Sings in order to go outside. You don't need to have all the fucking lipstick all over your face. We can see that, right? Same thing can be said with all the powder, all the dust, all the stuff, all the lotion. Lotion. I am a wizard. I do wizarding things like hoolerly hollily do. What's your excuse? Too creepy? I don't know, man. I'm just a single, unemployed chud. Not an all-right griper. But I am an American. An American with being American. Yeah. Anyway. Brett Cooper. Do you have opinions? Do you have thoughts? Something about Israel. I don't know. But look. 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 You may be pretty, but it's gonna wear off, and you're gonna have to figure out a life without that prettiness. So in the meantime, while you still have it, find a way where you can live a good life and not have to deal with those problems, instead of just taking it like it's credit card debt, like it could be taken later. Dude, you have like $1 million of credit card debt. The hell are you talking about thinking about it later? Like, nah, and I don't mean Brett Cooper, but like, you get the metaphor. You get the metaphor. But still, did she fall off? What do you think happened to her? I think she got banished to the Shadow Realm, personally, but I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Shout out to the homeboys and Agartha for that one. But anyway, I am out of here.